Chapter 13, 20. Please evaluate. Translator, Atlas Studios. Editor, Atlas Studios. Luo Muzi and Lun Fei were utterly speechless. They wanted to criticize Fang Yuan, but Chao Lu had made such a remark. If they criticized now, would they not be embarrassing Chao Lu? Luo Muzi and Lun Fei felt like they had swallowed a housefly, but were unable to spit it out. It was unbearable. Fang Yuan was laughing on the inside as he gazed around. Chao Lu was forcefully maintaining her smile, while Fairy Tian Lu gazed at her concernedly, her gaze seemingly containing some sympathetic feeling. As Chao Lu's best friend, how could Fairy Tian Lu not know of her intention? It was just that Fang Yuan did not take the bait at all, making them be unable to do anything. As for Luo Muzi and Lun Fei, they had such stiff expressions that it was quite funny. Fang Yuan looked at these two. How was it? My poem was not bad, right? Not bad? Luo Muzi's and Lun Fei's eyes immediately opened wide as they looked at Fang Yuan, seemingly wanting to see how shameless this person could possibly get. But immediately afterwards, they heard Fang Yuan speak. Although I had a flash of inspiration, it seems a true masterpiece poem is also created like this. Lu really approves of my poem, but I still would like to hear your constructive feedback. Constructive feedback? This dog shit thing can be considered a poem? You want feedback? Lu, why are you speaking of her so closely? You scumbag, hey, who let you address her so intimately? Luo Muzi and Lun Fei were madly raving inside their minds. But they could not lose their temper. They had to evaluate it and give good remarks, just like Chao Lu's words, so that they would not embarrass her. This disgusted them even more than eating a housefly. Fang Yuan was clearly their rival in love, and it was also garbage that could not be considered a poem. But Luo Muzi and Lun Fei still needed to evaluate it and give nice comments. This poem, it is clear, easy to understand, and easy to read, Luo Muzi stammered. His expression was becoming increasingly unsightly, and he felt like he was going to vomit. Fang Yuan nodded with a smile, then turned towards Lun Fei. What do you think? Lun Fei saw Fang Yuan staring at him. The corners of his lips were raised slightly in a smile and seemed to be twitching. He insipidly remarked, "This is a good poem." Fang Yuan's eyebrows rose. How could he let this person off so easily, he pursued. What is so good about it? Lun Fei was furious, his face flushed red with anger, as he screamed internally. How would I know what's good about it? There is nothing good about it. You created this garbage and still want to be praised. You scumbag! Looking at Fang Yuan's smiling expression, Lun Fei had an intense urge to smash the teacup on Fang Yuan's face. It would really appease his anger. But he could not do that. Chao Lu was right beside them. If Lun Fei did that, what would happen to Chao Lu's face? Wouldn't he embarrass this fairy? Moreover, he was not like Luo Muzi. He was a lone immortal. By contrast, Wu Yihai had a noble status. He was in Wu clan and was the younger brother of Wu Yong. Lun Fei could only restrain his anger as he racked his brains to think of words for evaluating Fang Yuan's poem. I am really pleased with this Moon Appreciation Festival. Never had I thought I am talented in composing poems. Fang Yuan smiled at Chao Lu, his gaze full of deep meaning. Chao Lu's mind shook slightly as she smiled. Next is rock dissecting. Maybe you will have a huge harvest. Indeed, indeed. I am also most expectant towards this event. Let us dissect rocks. Fairy Tian Lu quickly helped to change the subject. I have prepared a huge amount of rocks here for everyone to choose. Please. Chao Lu naturally had come prepared. With Chao clan as her background, gathering some rocks was of course not a troubling matter. The mood in the pavilion eased. Luo Muzi and Lun Fei also let out sighs of relief. At least they no longer needed to praise Fang Yuan's poem against their own will. The rocks prepared by Chao Lu were of all sizes. The Gu immortals chose them one after the other and dissected them on the spot to see if there were any Gu worms inside. As far as mortal Gu was concerned, it was very easy for Gu immortals to get them. As such, the atmosphere was relaxed, unlike the seriousness when goo masters dissected rocks. Naturally, this only applied to mortal goo. If immortal goo were involved, this rock dissecting activity would be given serious attention by goo immortals. Goo immortals had a lot of methods to check whether a rock had mortal goo or not. However, in today's event, they naturally would not use their methods to cheat, and only relied on their insight and luck. As for rocks that had immortal goo, they could only be found by chance and not through seeking. The investigative methods of goo immortals were deficient and without options in regard to such rocks. Trying to get an immortal goo in tonight's event would be wishful thinking and unrealistic. No one present had such expectations, as this was only meant to be an entertaining event. It was just that this entertainment held different meaning to Luo Muzi and Lun Fei compared to the past. They were secretly contending with Fang Yuan, but the result was they were almost at the verge of coughing out blood. Fang Yuan's rock dissecting results had maintained first place from start to finish. Rock dissecting relied on the goo master's discerning eye. Fang Yuan naturally did not lack in this aspect. He had even started his own rock gambling den in his first life. As for luck, was Fang Yuan's luck bad? Not to mention he had connected his luck with several other lucky people. He himself had dog shit luck immortal goo to help him. However, although Fang Yuan obtained victory, it was a rather close one. He maintained superiority from the start, but this superiority was not obvious at times. The one who exerted such strong pressure on him was Luo Muzi. This person was not a lone immortal. He came from one of Southern Border's super forces, Luo clan. His insight was very sharp, and most importantly, his luck was quite good. His results were only slightly inferior to Fang Yuan. Looks like his luck is quite good. Otherwise, he would not have known about Qi Jui's 5 words poem, isn't that right? Fang Yuan thought to himself. It would not be troubling for him to make a move against Lun Fei, but to target Luo Muzi, he had to worry about Luo clan. Naturally, no matter what he decided to do, Wu Yihai's identity absolutely could not be implicated. By the time the Moon Appreciation Festival ended, it was already deep into the night. Everyone bid their farewells one after the other. The scene was quite lively. I will see you off. Chao Lu took the initiative to see Fang Yuan off. Luo Muzi's and Lun Fei's eyes flushed red. Let's go. Luo Muzi and Lun Fei were originally competitors and found one another an eyesore, but through the course of tonight's event, they had instead reached a tacit agreement. The 4 goo immortals left the pavilion successively, leaving behind Fairy Tianlu and her lover. Sigh. Fairy Tianlu sighed. Tonight's Moon Appreciation Festival was so tiring. Nothing to be done about it. Her lover also sighed, his gaze clear and bright. Both held each other's hands and smiled as they stepped on the clouds and left. This Wu Yihai is a complete bore. What in the world did he compose? Can that thing even be called a poem? Luo Muzi was burning with rage. But Fairy Lu actually has a completely different view of him. Lun Fei gritted his teeth. What different view? His greatest worth is his identity, Luo Muzi said in a slightly envious tone. Lun Fei's expression was malevolent. I cannot take this lying down. I cannot let Wu Yihai continue living so happily. On their way, Luo Muzi and Lun Fei conversed heatedly. Oh, what idea do you have? Wu clan might be facing difficulties from all sides, and they might lack the initiative, but they still have the ability to maintain their status. If you want to make a move against Wu Yihai, you will have to consider Wu clan. Whether it be publicly or privately, Wu Yong will stand behind Wu Yihai. We need to take this relationship properly into account. Luo Muzi spoke. He was a righteous path goo immortal and was aware of the difficulty here. If they overestimated their relationship, they would not be able to cause any harm to Wu Yihai. But if they underestimated it, who would be able to bear Wu clan's retribution? Lun Fei curled his lips as he thought. Righteous path goo immortals have to worry about everything. On the other hand, the demonic path can directly take action. However, Lun Fei was not a demonic cultivator. He was a lone cultivator who was more inclined towards the righteous path. Lun Fei sneered as a sinister light flashed in his eyes. We don't need to personally make a move. Fairy Silu has a lot of pursuers, not just us two. We can inform that person. He will definitely be furious because Fairy Silu did not invite him this time. You are talking about that guy from Chi Clan? Luo Muzi's expression became slightly complex. That Gu immortal from Chi Clan was the biggest pursuer of Chao Siliu. Before tonight, Luo Muzi greatly loathed him, but now he was about to make use of his strength to teach a lesson to Wu Yihai. Although Wu Yihai won against Xia Feikwai, it was because he relied on his knowledge of the enemy. If he was strong, why would he have to discuss any conditions with that mountain-moving old monster? He could have directly seized back Mount Snail. That guy from Chai Clan is definitely stronger than Wu Yihai. Moreover, he hates it when others have any desire towards Fairy Silu. Lun Fei continued. Luo Muzi's gaze became resolute. All right, we will inform Qi Shang of today's matter. Chao Silu accompanied Fang Yuan for a distance before she bid a reluctant farewell to Fang Yuan. But she did not directly return to Chao Clan's headquarters, instead returning to the pavilion. Inside the pavilion, there was a Gu immortal sitting on a rock chair and quietly drinking bewitching tea. This person was Chao Clan's first supreme elder, the crucial character who had helped Fang Yuan return to Wu Clan previously. Chao Clan's first supreme elder slowly put down the teacup. Although Wu Yihai grew up in Eastern Sea, he is, after all, Wu Dushu's son. So what do you think? Chao Silu's gaze was slightly dim as she softly said, I agree. Fang Yuan targeted Luo Muzi and Lun Fei, forcing them to say his poem was good, but in fact it was an indirect attack on Chao Silu. Chao Silu was well aware that this was the way of a righteous path confrontation. It was all smiles and jovial on the surface, but was actually a maelstrom of dark undercurrents. Chao Clan's first supreme elder sighed. Our Chao Clan has all along been allies with Wu Clan, but we have never been able to penetrate deep into their core. For the sake of Chao Clan, Wu Yihai is a huge opportunity. Do you understand? Chao Silu bit her lips, her gaze containing reluctance, but she still nodded in the end. I understand.